You can't hold me down. 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 You can't hold me.
I wanted to make this video to talk about how opening up an LLC, how to do it. I run into a lot of people that haven't really heard of LLCs and how they're used, and they also think that you have to pay a lawyer to actually start this, and they don't want to pay those fees. Pretty much all you're doing is you're registering with the state that you're in, and it's just a filing status. It's about $50. And then every 2 years, you have to do a biannual report. And I think those fees are up to about $45. 10 years ago, when I first started mine, it was only a $5 fee every 2 years. So you can see that the cost, like everything else, it always keeps going up. I also want to talk about what an LLC is. I'm just going to cover the basics real fast since this video is on it in a way. An LLC is pretty much a business entity that you're creating to do business at. And the LLC is limited liability. Mainly what it's trying to do is protect you and your business, try to keep them separated in case you're doing business, for example, and you have a lawsuit or some kind of liability comes up, that it's only going to be handled through your business part, and they're not going to come after your personal property such as your house, your car, your personal bank accounts, stuff like that. So only your business side is going to be at risk. And it also works the opposite way. In case you're running your business and your personal life, you have some problems going on in it where you have a lawsuit or something happens where your assets are at risk. So they're only going to be able to go after your bank account, your car, your house, whatever you have in your name, and the stuff that you have in your business name should be protected so they're not intermerging. But normally, if you get a lawsuit, if they know about a business or they are taking your business, they're going to take both of you to court. So it's going to be your business entity and you personally. It seems like that's how they always do it. But this is supposed to help protect you. And I personally don't know a lot on if it actually does or not. I haven't had any problems with it other than dealing with the local governments. And many times what I had done, all the local people, they still want to use your name personally and have it on everything. They want to have it as co-owner. And I have a huge problem with that because for me, that's the whole point. The reason why I opened up the Limited Liability Company is to restrict my name from being used. I don't want it on all the paperwork. I don't want it in all that stuff. I opened up a business and I want it to be like any other major business where it's treated like maybe Walmart and other places. For example, Walmart doesn't get bills. They don't get notifications with the owner's name on it. You know, it's set up where it goes to Walmart and goes to the Walmart main address. So that's pretty much the main problem that I've had with the LLC is that they do put your name. They want to put your name on everything. And if you guys ever have this problem, I have gotten a hold of the Iowa Ombudsman's office, and I had that taken care of with our local city. They kept on doing it, and I asked them to stop repeatedly, and they didn't. And I called in and reported them, and then they finally stopped doing it. And they kept on telling me that I couldn't have it just with my name or my business name on it, that they had to also have me on it, and kept on telling me I was the co-owner. And I kept on, telling them no. And I want to make a big deal out of this because, again, this is the whole reason why I'm opening up the LLC. This is the whole reason why I'm paying the fees. And it's just, for me, it bothers me. But anyways, that's the main thing that LLC is supposed to cover. It shouldn't matter what state you're in. You should be able to just go to Iowa for any state that you're in, Secretary of State, and they should have a page kind of set up like this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what you need to do, and it's a pretty simple process. First, you're going to need to find out if the name that you're going to be using has been used. So you're going to go to Search Database and Business Entities. And I don't know, I think I went through this already once and did it. I was going to put, Joe's Rentals. Joe's Rentals. That name isn't in use already in the state of Iowa. And this also goes off the state. And you're going to want to do this in any state that you're doing business in. This is the state that I live in and do business in, so I'm just using their webpage. But for example, let's say I was going to do also business in Missouri and I wanted an LLC there. I'd be going under the Missouri Secretary of State and doing the same process there. So now that I know that that name isn't used, I want to go ahead and go to the business forms and fees. This is just going to show you what you need. I'm also going to open up another page because this is where we're going to go right after this, but it's not. As you can see, there's also many other corporations and other stuff that you can also open up. So if there's something else that you see there that you're more interested in getting, you can also go and check those out. But right now, we're going to go to the LLC, the Limited Liability Company, and it's domestic, meaning that you're working in this city or that state. LLPs are also pretty popular, so most people use LLCs if it's just one registered agent, so it's going to be one person that's going to be managing it and doing anything and has equity in the business. When you're looking at LLPs, it's going to be partnerships, so it's going to be more than one agent and are more than one partner. So for example, if you're going in business with another person, you would have both of them listed as a partnership. But as you can see, there's several different other things, like if you wanted to start up a nonprofit, any of that kind of stuff. And the certificate of origination is $50, so that's how much it's going to cost. If you use a lawyer, I think a lawyer right now is charging about $250 to $300 to do this. So again, this is going to take us maybe a few minutes to actually do, and it's $50, and you're going to be paying a lawyer about $200 to $250 to do the exact same thing. I do think the lawyers send you, I've heard anyways, that they send you a little business packet to like help you know a little bit of things, but you can find that stuff all online. So I recommend just opening these stuff up yourself. While that's loading, I'm going to go ahead and go to the business entity filing. This first part is if you already have it open, the Secretary of State gives you a PIN and password to get in, so you can do like the biannual report, so you can send your fees in and get updated. But since you're going to be starting a new one, you're going to go to the business filing because you don't have that information yet. So this is where you're going to file it. But here's the stuff that you actually need to send it in. I think a few years ago, I opened up one for a lawn care business, and they actually had a form. I don't see the form on here now, but it's probably because there's not enough information that you really need a form for. You can go ahead and read this, but the main things that you're going to need is this Part 2, A and B. So you're going to have to open it up in a Word document and put this in. So you're going to be putting the name of the limited liability company. So just write in name of limited liability company, semicolon, and then you're going to be putting, for my example, Joe's Rentals, LLC. And you can spell out LLC, or you can just have it, or limited liability company, or you can just have it as LLC. And it doesn't say it here, but if I remember right, I think you have to have LLC in the name, but I'm not for sure. So if you don't know, I just say go ahead and put it in there, just so you don't have to do it again. The second part is the street address of the initial registered office. So that could be your home address or wherever you're going to be doing the business at. And then you're also going to put registered agent, semicolons again, and then you're going to put your name. So you're going to be filing this as the registered agent. And I also want to point out you're filing it as the registered agent. So really make sure in your mind that you have that distinction, that you're not the owner, that you're the registered agent. You're the one that controls it, but you are not the same thing as this entity that you're creating. Because I noticed that when you're doing business, a lot of people try to make it one thing again. Again, I really want to express that they're two different entities. This is the whole reason why you're filing for an LLC, is to separate you from the business. So it's its own entity, and you are your own entity. You are the registered agent. All right. So I do need to make that clear, because I seriously have a lot of problems with some of the local cities. I live in a smaller town, and I don't know if they're, LLCs are very popular, so I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one making a big deal out of it, but I think it needs to be made. But okay, after you get this done, you're gonna fill that out in Word documents. If you aren't comfortable with sending it in online. You can also fill this out in writing or print it off and send it in. You're just going to send it into the Secretary of State and find their web address online and just send it to them with the your check or money order of the $50. So now to actually register it, you're going to come to this page, and on this it's going to be other, unless it's something else that you're going to be doing. So you're going to put other in here. You're going to figure out your payment type that you're going to be doing. Again, if you want to send a check, then you're going to want to mail that in. Fill out all this, and then if you're going to be doing it online and paying online, then you're going to be putting your Word document file that you created in here. Go ahead and hit that, and then hit send. And that's all there is to it. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Did it under 5 minutes. I say save the money of going and having a lawyer do it for you when you can do it right here for free and just pay the filing fee. Again, every 2 years, now the fees for my state of Iowa is $45. And I think if you pay it late, or there's another thing I can't remember, it goes up to like $65. So those fees have went way up. Right. Also, since we're already here, for sure, find whatever state you're in, go check out the Secretary of State webpage, because there's a lot of useful information in here. Like you can see, I mean, there's miscellaneous forms, like information on starting a business, and some of it doesn't have the information, but they have links that take you to somewhere. Like if you're also needing a lawyer, there's places that they help, that they recommend kind of. Also, searching database, you can also search other LLCs and find out who the registered agents are if you need to contact them or anything like that, if somehow you're not doing it through the business name. You can also do mechanic notices and lien registries. Again, you can also do the biannual report right here. I want to talk a little bit more about LLCs. I think LLCs are great. I recommend all my friends, people I know, to get an LLC, even if you're not doing business. But definitely if you're doing business, it's just really nice to have that stuff put into a different entity's name and have it over there. Especially like cars. I know most people, even when they get a business, they still don't put their cars in their LLCs. I recommend putting that car in that LLC's name. You can, the business policies are usually the same, but give you better coverage. They cost the same. So there's a plus with using an LLC and getting a business policy on it. And all your registration, all that stuff is in your business name. So if you're driving around and people run your plates, your business name is going to be filing up. Only time they're going to be able to figure out who's maybe driving it or who is involved in that is if they come to the Secretary of State page and actually looks up that LLC's name to see who the registered agent is. But I think, I mean, I don't know if it was just me or I don't know, but I also have a better car now. But before I got a decent car and put my car in an LLC's, I used to get pulled over quite a bit before, and now I barely ever get pulled over. So it's really nice. I don't know if it's just that I drive a nicer car now, or if I just don't have the plates in my name. But I do recommend having everyone open up an LLC and start having this stuff in there. My brother has a lot of problems with, I don't know, he's always not paying for insurance. So in no way am I recommend doing this, but I'm just going to give you an example of how it can help for some people. If you lose your driver's license, for example, most towns, I know my town is one of them, they don't let you register your vehicle. And if you live in town, they're pretty much making it where you can't own your car, because your vehicle has to be registered to be inside city limits. So they're going to come and give you a warning saying that you need to get rid of it, and if you don't, then they'll start charging you a fine, or they might tow it. So having it in an LLC, you can still keep registration on it, keep ownership on it, and keep tags on it. So for people that falls into that thing, there's another positive thing. So to me, there's a lot more positive things about having an LLC, having that separate entity to put assets in. You can also open up your bank account, your checking account. I have it all for my business, so I have my business account and I have my personal account. Only problem that you're going to have with that is if you have a loan or anything like that. A lot of times the banks are not going to want it to be in the LLC, the corporation's name. They're going to still want it into yours, because your LLC, when you first start it, for sure, it's not going to have any credit history, and it's not going to have good credit. So they're still going to want to hold you personally reliable. Anyways, I just wanted to make sure that people knew how to do it and the process and how quick and easy it is. And that hopefully this helps. See you guys later. I almost forgot some good information too. After you open up an LLC to register your vehicles and do many other things, most other companies and the government, local governments, they're going to want an EIN number. So that's your employer identification number. And to get that is you're going to have to get a hold of the IRS. So you can just give the IRS a call and tell them that you're calling in to get an EIN number. And they should be able to give it to you right there over the phone. And then they also send you a letter with that information as well. So if you're having troubles where after you open up an LLC, you're having people wanting that EIN number, just go ahead and give the IRS a call and get that. When I first put a vehicle, I put a truck in my LLC's name, and when I first did it, they didn't require it, but I've recently put another truck and a car in the LLC's name, and that was one of the things that they wanted is the EIN number. What's good about the EIN number is it doesn't matter how many LLCs you have, it all goes under one EIN number. So for example, if you have 5 different LLCs, so you have 5 different businesses that you're using, you're going to be filing it all under one EIN number. Another thing that LLCs are really good from other corporations is that you can also file your taxes and your personal stuff together. So in a way, if you open up a big company, you're going to get taxed twice. So it's going to show at the end of the year your business made set amount of profit. It's all going to be taxed. And then when you pay yourself, you're going to be taxed again on your personal taxes. Through the LLC, it lets you file it with, it's joint with your personal account or your personal taxes. So it's all going to be taxed together, and it's going to have that one tax. So that's another positive about being able to use an LLC. Also, you can open up as many LLCs as you want. You're just going to have to pay for that filing fee. And if you want to keep it active, you're still going to have to do that biannual report and pay those fees to keep it active. If you're getting a bank loan, they're going to require you to keep it active. Honestly, I don't know what they do if you don't have it active. I've let one right now. I had a lawn care business, and I no longer do that now. And it's inactive, and I don't know what they do with it because it's still there. And I don't think I have anything registered in this name, but I don't know what happens if you have a car registered in that name. I do know that they say that you lose that liability, so it sounds like you can still keep it all in that name, but if an accident were to happen or something, you lose that liability, so you pretty much turn into like a proprietorship with that business name. I don't really know how it works, but that's how I kind of view it. So since I'm already talking about that, and a lot of business, I haven't done it yet, but I want to do it in the future, is that a lot of these businesses have different parts of the business. For example, I'm going to talk about my rental business. Right now, I have it all under one business name, and I function everything to it. But later, here soon, I want to open up another LLC, and I want it to be more on just the rental side. And the LLC that I'm currently using I want it for the property name. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I already have the properties all in that LLC's name. So I want it to be one business as just real estate. Like it's going to have the rental properties, and it's going to go with, the property taxes. It's going to be all for that kind of stuff. And then that LLC is going to be leasing it to another LLC for controlling. It's going to be the rental agreements. So it's going to be a different name, a different business, and they're going to be the ones making the contract with the tenants and the leases and dealing with the whole rental side. So I want to keep those more separated. And I see a lot of other businesses are doing this. For example, some people will have a business where their business is doing something, and then they have another part of the business. For example, let's say they're renting out equipment, and it's not the same as the business, so they kind of separate it where they have the rental part of the equipment and then maybe the construction where they use it. They're separated. So for my example, if for the landlording, and the reason also I want to talk about this is because this is more for landlording and real estate. But for example, the properties itself is where my main assets are. And that company, I don't really want to deal with the leases and all the other stuff because it's going to pull that liability where if I have another business controlling the leases and dealing with the tenants, it's going to be its own entity, have its own leases. So there's still going to be legal documents from one LLC with the contract stating that the other LLC, the other business, can rent it out and do those things. And so if there's a problem maybe with a tenant, that it'll be going after that LLC that's on that side of the business, and hopefully it'll protect the actual physical assets of the real estate business. So if you're tracking, hopefully that helps. Anyways, hopefully this information on opening up an LLC and the little bit of information that I provided helps many of you. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it down in the comment sections. If you have any other questions, if I think I know, or who knows, maybe I'll even look it up for you and I'll try to answer your questions. All right, see you guys later.
Girl might want to see this.
He's gonna get his ass busted. That's the boy does. He's gonna get your ass whooped.